Good evening, everyone. Thank you once again for hanging out with Undivided on our third show. Brother Shannon, always a pleasure. My man Smitty. And of course, our sister in presence is always Miss Beatrice. Thank you. Without you, a lot of this would not be possible. You put a lot of this together on the groundwork, and we so appreciate you. Our words cannot really go into about how much we appreciate everything you've done for us on the ground level to help just keep going and be motivated. And we love and respect you eternally.
Facts.
So
Aww.
today,
Que paso?
Thank you guys.
Que paso, mi amigos?
I appreciate all of you.
Thank
all
you.
the work that you guys do in the community. All right, I'll let you guys continue. Sorry.
So now we're gonna do a quick recap. Quick recap, and then shut up, Shannon. And then we're just gonna get this pushing. Now, last week we made some fantastic points. Even if and it's not just me saying this, our feedback. Thank you, public, for all that you do. Yes. And if I'll just make sure you give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can keep this going, so we can spread the word of the stuff that we're doing. So with that was that all the thank yous, or did I need to get out some more thank yous? I think that was
we need to give out one thank you.
No names. No names this week.
No names, but we do need to thank one person, and they do know who they are.
They know who they are, and we appreciate
they know who they are. Yeah,
we deeply appreciate.
Hold
you.
on, wait.
The thing, the no name thing is important today.
Listen. I'm gonna accept that, and I'm gonna second that motion on my own motion that I accept. Yeah, that we don't follow rules, so I'm going to set the motion, and then I'm going to second the motion. I'm going to allow that one today. But for who we are and where we've been and how we've operated to get this far, we don't hold back. It's not like this secrecy, non-transparency of who we talk to behind the scenes. Facts. With that being said, going forward, if you have helped us in any way, or you've been against us in any way, we're not going to hold back. So yeah, let's get on with the show.
The only reason why I'm not doing it today is because that's the theme of today's show.
Okay,
well, let's say that
it's just the theme. And you're right. Usually, we have never held back any names, good or bad, left or right. Right. We make a point to give people credit and throw you on the bus at the same time. So watch what you say to us. Now,
please. Well, look, before you go any further,
go ahead.
As my brother, and I will say this. Brother Smitty, I love you to death. I can't go along with that motion. Brother Troy, you want to go home. I'm going to mention names.
Oh, come on. See, now you're taking the fun out of this for me. Because this is going to be kind of a think piece for people to understand. But
certain people can't think when they're illiterate.
Hey.
On with the show.
Yeah, here we go. Okay.
Here we go.
Folks,
welcome.
Turn that light for me. So this is what we're going to do. Damn, that was good. That was good, Shannon. I want people to understand who we are and what really brought us together. And what that was it's not about your position. It's about your cause. That's what brought us together. That is the glue that holds us three gentlemen together. I'm sorry, this gentleman and this lady together. So now, we have been told that our last week's show hurt an organization. But we're going to try and not do that again today. Okay. But we are going to try for everybody to understand what we mean to do. So,
did you hear my okay?
Yeah, I did hear you okay. I did.
That was my okay from Scarface. Okay.
Okay. So, if you got your feelings hurt, don't blame your organization. It ain't their fault. We try to hold up.
Don't blame your organization. Don't blame your followers. Don't blame your constituents. Don't blame your family. You know, this is so much bigger than you. And if you can't understand that, then there's the problem. You know, what we're doing, what we say is so much bigger than you.
You.
First off, don't send me a text. And this is direct. So first off, don't send me a text telling me you want to discuss concerns and actions and conduct. First off, the conduct that was displayed wasn't against the organization to begin with. And I'll tell you that right now.
Number one.
That's a fact. It wasn't against the organization, no shape, form at all.
We love the organization.
This was against the individual. And as I tell all my people, just because you look like us don't mean you one of us. And right now, I consider you, we have things in life we call enemies, friends, and foes. They always say keep your friends close. I try not to have enemies. You teetering on that line of being an enemy, constantly trying to go against me. I'm trying to get you in line to see that you need to step up and take that leadership role. Get some backbone. Be a man. Don't tell me you're disappointed in me. Grow some. If you stand in front of this organization and you make yourself known that this is my title, my position, I give two shits less. And excuse my French.
Hey, we talk
how already cusses, so you can go ahead and curse.
Yeah, so
Shannon, my man, I appreciate how you stated that so eloquently, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I know, all of us kind of play a particular role when we don't really have a role, and I'm never going to interfere and hold you back, because I think that's the power in you to say what you want, but again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, and to Troy's point, I think how we came and where we got to right now speaks volume about our the three little people that we are, what we did last week, what we said, that right there speaks volumes about what we do and what we can get done. And then I doubled down and follow that organic nature that started all this. And if you were a part, or you heard, or about what happened at Vacaville City Council last night, and what was agendized, what was talked about, and where this city has at least a vision. They have a vision, and people talking about it and where they want to go. They're not sticking their head up their ass. They're not saying we're waiting for somebody else. They're not worried about red tape and this, that, and the third. They're actually doing something, which is how we got together about doing something. Again, if you're taking this personal, it's about you. You don't miss the cause.
And I will, and I know, but me being a man of my word, I will say this. I did make a comment, and in that one comment, my hat goes off. And I have to mention his name, because I did say I would speak about him. His name is Roy Stockton, our city council member. He was man enough, out of everybody that I mentioned, he was man enough to call me with concerns about my comments and my statements. I'm not hiding. Right. And I thank him for that. We had a discussion. We are working together to try and make Vacaville and every other community better. Everybody's going to have their odds and their differences. But if you're man enough or woman enough to step up to the plate, things can be resolved. And my hat goes off to Roy Stockton. He took the initiative, picked up the phone. Hey, I like you, brother. How can we make this right? What is it? Let me know if I offend you. Let me know if, I'm going to call and tell you if you offend me. All we can do is respect that and respect him. So with that,
and that's that organic part that at least Mr. Stockton has the decency and the human spirit to reach out, and say, listen, I'm a man. Let's have this conversation, And again, Mr. Stockton is from the beginning. Also, I don't want to say he was part of this, but he reached out for me when he didn't even know me, and I'm glad that Troy made it like, how did we get all of this going to where we are right now? So you folks understand that you don't have to be this worldwide recognized individual or entity or whatever.
No.
If you have the energy in you and you understand what the focus is and where you're trying to go, it can be done, you
You
know.
just gotta be willing
and
to stand
so
up.
absolutely. And I'm gonna leave it at this because I want to move on. But to Mr. Stockton, his credit, whatever side he falls on in his thoughts and his beliefs and what he ran on, I gotta say, to at least to him, hell, at least he called me. There's people, there's city council members right now in Fairfield who still haven't called me after 2 years. So, again, if you think this is about you, it probably is. And then there's
that.
So again, how did we get together? There was an energy in the environment. There was an energy going. We was already here. We was already doing our own thing, and then just by whatever plan was already set in place, we all kind of came together organically, and
truly organically,
and ever since that day, it wasn't like we sat down and was like, oh yeah, we're going to change the world and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. No. It was like daily shit popping up, and we was like,
we would just own it, and that was it. We would just own it. That's all. It wasn't
right, like, man, did you know about this? Nah, okay, let's go talk about it.
What do you feel about it? Let's share this because people need to hear this.
Yeah,
people need to hear statements. People need sometimes people need other people to stand up first.
Correct.
And
I can say, not to cut you off, brother, but I was at the city council meeting last night. My heart goes out to a lot of our comrades that are out there protesting. I feel because they became victims at the hand of law enforcement and others, all over political lines. And it's upsetting to hear that. So I ask that everybody stay safe out there. Continue to do the work that you're doing.
You know what, Shannon? That's a good point. That's a good point because, like again, we're just three men, and we have our own way on how we address certain things. But what I appreciate, what I respect, and what I like is that there's so many different avenues that need to be driven down, but we all trying to get to the same destination. And I always say this, you probably won't catch me at a protest. And I don't mean that in a negative light. It's just that I would rather spend my energy talking to the people we're protesting against. See, but we need that. We need someone to say it's not okay and act out. And I don't mean act out in a bad way. I'm just saying voice it and show that emotion and that energy. And then you have folks like us in a whole different lane. We all going to the same way, but we just addressing it differently. And last night was the melting pot of all of those lanes coming together. You had young folks, which is powerful. You had young folks in Vacaville. They've been protesting for 26 weeks faithfully, right? And then you had us coming there. And we've been talking and we've been making noise and we've been meeting with people and we've been holding people accountable. And last night you saw the beginning of change. But we're going to need everybody to play their role in their position. You don't have to be like us three. You don't have to be like those protesters. What you do have to do, like we've been saying, is get involved and be engaged.
You have to. You cannot preach about change if you're not willing to stand up. You cannot complain about the lack of change if you're not willing to stand up. Even if it's a matter of just sharing our show.
Right.
If you agree with us, then just share our show. You don't have to say nothing.
Even if you don't agree. Even if you don't agree.
Even if you want to tag it with, look at these three buffoons.
Correct. Because you know why? What, Troy, man, that's a great point. And man, that is incredible. Me and Shannon had this conversation a while back. It's like, let's say you want to share this show and make a mockery of us and be like, look at these three niggers. So I'm just throwing out there because these things happen in real life. Once you expose yourself to social media, anything can happen. So somebody doesn't like us just because we're black. and they tag us and say, look at these clowns, they're starting problems, whoopty whoop.
Yeah.
The crazy part about that is that person that shares it and they're trying to mock us, more than likely, it's one of their associates or close friends who are going to get something out of it, even if it's a small, minute part.
Small piece.
But was too scared to have that conversation and talk about their feelings with this clown who thought he was mocking us. It's a crazy world. So again, you know, you want to share it, share it. You want to like it, like it. If not, understand. It may not be for you. And we're not here to make everybody happy. Get that straight. Get that straight. We ain't here to make you happy.
You know what I would like to say, because this is really bothering me. Especially when it comes to our people of color, period. So we all know February is right around the corner, which brings us to Black History Celebration Month.
Black History Celebration Month? They got a new name?
Well, that's what they're calling it. You know, they're using a theme called Past, Present, and Future. My problem with this, and my problem for my people is, what are you doing? And actually partaking in an event like this, what are you really saying? Our history is not dispelled to 1 month, especially the shortest month of the year. It took more than 1 month. It's an insult. And I hate to say it, but our race, and this is why I used the comment earlier about people being illiterate. They don't know our history. Just because they look like us and they may speak a good game, they're only nickel slick. Go ahead, brother.
First of all, that's not why you use illiterate. Let's get that straight.
I was referring to the puppet master.
That is not why you use the term illiterate.
No,
so we
you
can
said
glad you pointed that out.
Thank you, because that's not what you were saying.
No.
Because that term illiterate that you used earlier was directed at somebody.
That was referring to the puppet.
So how do we?
Hold on. Let me just say this, Smith. The problem with celebrating Black History Month comes to me on different levels. When it comes to the people who actually celebrate that, it angers me because we don't see them 11 months out of the year. They're just gone, and that's problem one. Problem two, the corporations and the entities that put money behind celebrating Black History Month. Where are you 11 months out of the year? Politicians who stand up and want to get involved in Black History Month. Where are you when we have a complete show of racism in January that you don't want to talk about, but you're going to want to go ahead and celebrate us in February? No, keep it. We don't need you in February. We need you right now. And then we're going to need you in March, in April, and so on and so forth. We don't need you to come and pop in and out just because this is the appropriate time that your friends will accept you celebrating Black people. We need you to show up every day. Black people, minorities, we need y'all to show up every day because we are persecuted. We fall in systematic racism doesn't take a break in February. So why we should be thinking about it, only in February?
Hey, I think we should move for that for the next city council. If we're going to just celebrate Black History for 1 month, then damn it, systemic racism is null and void in that month.
Love you.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Hold on, my wife is messing with me right now.
No, I'm saying if we're going to just get 1 month to celebrate Black history, then that 1 month it should be mandated, written in law, that systemic racism is no longer allowed for those 28 days.
In 28 days, you got to stop and you got to let your daughter date a Black dude.
Exactly. You can't kill a Black man. You know what I'm saying?
You can't kill a Black man. You got to give Black people loans.
Yeah.
You got to take off what race are you on a job application. You have to take off what race are you on a housing application. You have to take off what race are you. I mean,
let's go all the way.
That's what we're
Let's
gonna
turn
do.
the table. Let's turn the tables. Instead of let's go back. Let's turn the tables. Smith, brother Smith, I'm in agreement. No systemic racism. But let's turn the tables. Let's give them the feel of what we feel every
we
damn
switch
day.
it. Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah. Hey,
order the day for my brother Shannon. Thank you. Yes, you get a chance to understand what it means to be a black man in the United States. And then they have to do this. And then they have to do this. You have to go to apply for a job, go to apply for a loan, go apply for a house, go to the grocery store. You got to get on the elevator and watch a black woman clutch their purse. You have to feel what it takes.
The white parents should have to tell their children, when we get in this store, you better not embarrass me in front of these black people.
Facts.
That's what they. We going all out for this month.
All out.
We going all out. You gotta put on your Sunday best to go get a job at McDonald's, and for them to laugh at you. And then while you're walking out, you hear them laugh and throw the application in the trash.
You got to understand what it means to be pulled over.
Are we following you home?
By a police officer. Following you home from the store. Just because you bought a big ticket item.
Absolutely.
You have to understand what that means. On a daily basis, you're going to have to understand what it means to be black and have to, at 51, still wondering what's going to happen to me every time I walk out the house.
Hey, and so when your 17-year-old goes into the store and all he wants is a pack of now-a-laters, we're going to tell you, hey, we don't take EBT here.
As soon as you walk in.
As soon as you walk in.
As soon as you walk in, we don't take EBT.
Hey, we laying ground rules for February now.
February gonna be hot.
Hey, people, and say again, you may be laughing, but a lot of the stuff that we're doing, we was just laughing and joking, tongue in cheek in it almost a year ago, but that's how ideas get created. And again, to Troy's point about this show, the organic nature of who we are, of Undivided, of Shannon, Troy, and Smith, organic. You talk about things and you start bringing this shit up. Look at Shannon just popped in with, oh no, we going all the way then. You see?
All in. We going all in, both feet. We jumping into the deep end. And it's mainly, hold on, Shannon. It's because of the mockery of Black History Month. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's just go just a little bit further. Black History Month is the only time in schools where Black history is openly taught.
Yes.
And it's only, and honestly, it stops at the Civil Rights Movement. So they're not going through the whole history. And that's the only time I'm sorry. Hold on. I misspoke. It's not taught, it's mentioned.
Can we even say that it's mentioned and what is mentioned is not the truth?
Absolutely.
So absolutely. It's Western history and Western civilization has constantly and continually lied about what they've done, not only to African Americans, but our Hispanic brothers and sisters as well.
Our Native American brothers and sisters.
Yeah, our Native Americans. I mean, we can go on and on. Vacaville has a history. And they really don't want to go down that path.
No.
They don't want to go.
You know what's funny about that? Vacaville used to be considered Chinatown.
Correct. You know why?
I didn't know that. I've seen that on something. Vacaville history is steeped in Asian traditions.
Right. And
this was
why?
a Chinese.
Yeah, but why they were here? You know why they were here? Remember when we had World War II. Right. Remember when they were locking everybody up?
Internment camps. Yes, that's right.
Internment camp. So where else to go? And then what did Vacaville do?
At the time, put them in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely.
That's what Vacaville was. In the middle of nowhere.
When you get into mentioning Black History Month, when they teach you, again, and people know this, and that's to Troy's point, that's the whole hilariousness of it, the mockery is they start with Rosa Parks. They start with a boycott. They give you a little bit, maybe if you're lucky, Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois.
So no, W.E. never comes up.
I think I got him when I was in the second grade. Maybe.
Did you? You was in the Bay Area though. You was in the Bay Area.
Absolutely. You know, but
yeah, that's different.
And then they finish with the big, you know, firework display with Martin Luther King and that whole thing. You know, but to Troy's point, I went to school in Oakland, California. Not just in regular the academic year, but especially in Black History Month in the month of February, 28 days. They didn't teach us about Huey P. Newton. They didn't teach us about the WIC program the Black Panther Party started. They didn't teach us about the East Bay Dragons and how the East Bay Dragons did a whole hell of a lot of security for Black folks in the city of Oakland. They didn't teach us none of that, you know? So again, if that's just Oakland, who had a phenomenal civil rights history, what about San Francisco? I'm sure the kids that went to school in San Francisco learned that the first Black student union was started at San Francisco State. You know, it's so many things that we aren't taught. It's just a whitewash of you know of some facts.
Literally meaning
you know what we have.
I mean, like
we
have,
but here's my issue with that. We don't hear people's names like Bobby Seale anymore. We don't hear Huey P. Newton, Fred Hampton.
No,
you know.
No, we should actually invite Bobby Seale to be.
Carmichael.
Bobby Seale lives here in Vallejo.
Yeah.
We should have him on one day.
We really should. And you know what?
You know,
people like Fred.
They don't
like
teach
Fred
Emmett Till and Medgar Evers.
No, they don't. And Emmett Till is one that everybody should know about. But and guess what?
Well, Emmett Till, but the
everybody.
Problem, he's gonna get mentioned next month, though.
You know what?
Emmett Till's gonna get mentioned next month.
He is, and here's my problem.
They're not gonna go in debt. They're not gonna go in debt.
Oh God, no.
No. And here's my problem, though. We all, you know, we talked about an organization, and I don't want to badmouth that organization, but I think people really need to know the true history of that organization.
That it was started by 4 white people.
Yeah, and then how that one branch ousted Dr. King, who everybody speaks about, because they said his ideas were too radical, or he was too out there, or too worldly. Yes. You know, this was a civil rights icon who stepped up to the plate and did what others wouldn't do, like quote unquote presidents of certain organizations. Somebody has to be the one to take the bullet. And if you're not willing to do that, then get out the way and move and let somebody else do it.
Mansu, I'm gonna throw a name. Hold on, I'm gonna throw one name real out, just real quick. His name is Mansu Musa. I need everybody, if whoever hears this, just to give you, because most of y'all run on the idea of what's important about money. He historically, and I had to remember his name, so that's why I was just doing, looking it up. Historically, the richest man in the world, ever, was a black man.
Yeah.
Get your life together. And but these are the things that we hope. So just talking about, I was talking about someone from the school board, and they were saying how, you know, they were trying to figure out the school board. To some of the people in that school board, on the Vacaville school board, not all of them, because I haven't got information from all of them. They're trying to figure out what to do to further the idea of discipline against someone, against this kid who committed not a crime, but a crime against community. And they're trying to figure out what to do and how to handle it when it happens again. And because we can't go against him, he didn't commit a crime. Praise him. I applaud him for exercising his First Amendment rights. We should all do it. Now, the problem was, and that I pointed out to her, was the idea of he wasn't educated. His education is to blame.
Correct.
not what he did. What he did, fine. And I could blame him and his parents for, well, I do blame his parents, but I could blame him if he was given the opportunity to learn about American history.
Correct.
Well, you can
as a
also
whole.
yeah, but you also can go back and I recall, and I think Brother Smitty will agree with me on this because I did speak on this. You can blame the ethnic studies teacher, who I kindly said shouldn't be teaching this course. One, they're not Black. They can't tell our history. Secondly,
Yes.
her response to me, I was in Germany. Quote, brother, we have been in the military. Blacks were treated better in Germany than here. So what are you saying?
What are you saying?
Yeah.
So let me say this, because I again, this organic nature that Troy started this conversation with. That's where this conversation is going. And I think two things I want to touch on and bring it as totally organic as possible. That Troy mentioned, Mansu. What I think right quick, Troy, if you could just follow up and give a little bit of background to the people, we're going to educate you on how organic shit happens. You're about to find out some things you don't know, because there's another person that, as far as Black history goes, he's so much more than Black history that I would like to expound on, but to the whole point of the young person with the Klan thing not being educated. Here's a problem to Shannon's point, to a lot of points you guys made. When you speak of Black History Month and education and ethnic studies, and you just say something so generic as the Klan hung Black folks, great, thank you. Please explain to me or educate people who was in the Klan. It was doctors, lawyers, city council members, teachers, brothers, sisters, cousins. It was deputies, the same everybody that you see every day. So trying to sugarcoat it and just making this one big group just a Klan to make it like a mysterious group of people who ride in from out of town, no. They lived in the city with you, and you probably did business with them on more than one occasion.
Oh, most definitely.
That's education.
When you went to church, most of the time, when you went to church, they was delivering a sermon.
Correct.
And that's facts. That's facts.
And passing around the money pit jar.
Yes, please. Because I tore my sheet the last time we went out and hung a nigga. So could you go ahead and help me fix that for me?
And I want to double down on that, because just recently, we can bring all the way that Klan from the 1800s to just last week, what happened at the Capitol. A lot of reports, until they got pressure, they was reported as an angry mob. And I kept responding every time I seen that, who the fuck is in this mob? Please, say who's in this mob.
Please, just one time.
In this mob is predominantly white people. And those white people are doctors, lawyers, politicians, cops, teachers, dentists, masseuses, business owners, street sweepers, garbage men. Every person you know was in that mob.
Facts.
Only difference, they didn't have the hoods this time.
They just didn't have the hoods.
They didn't need to. They were given permission. They were given permission to do what they did.
And so with that, since I'm on this whole education tip, they give you the layups. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, all of this. Okay, great. You know what's important right now? We have living people like Troy said. Bobby Seals lives right around here. You know who's another important person I didn't even know about because no one bothered to teach me? Dr. Reverend Amos Brown. He is the president of the San Francisco NAACP chapter. But most importantly, he's the pastor of the oldest Baptist church in the city of San Francisco, 3rd Street Baptist, okay? For whatever reason, all the hatred that came to my family brought this man into our lives. And listening to him expound and extrapolate his life experiences and what he went through, and the people, so I'm going to educate you right quick. Please listen. Dr. Amos Brown was the number one of 7 total students that Dr. Martin Luther King ever taught in a class. Yes, Dr. Martin Luther King taught a class. Dr. Amos Brown was one of 7 that was in that class. That man has a direct link to Martin Luther King.
Wow.
In the same month, I got the honor and the privilege to meet Jesse Jackson. Call him old, call him whitewashed, call him whatever adjective you want to put in front of that man's name. But I got the chance to meet that man. That man, for you young folks who don't know, stood on the balcony and was standing right next to Martin Luther King when his jaw got shot off. Jesse Jackson called Coretta to inform her what happened. That's education. That's history. What they don't tell you. They don't tell you that. And Jesse Jackson is alive and well to this day. He is old. He's got some health concerns, but he's still on this earth. And those are the kind of people we need to educate our young folks on, Black and white kids. You dig?
Facts. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and expand on the idea of teaching our Black and minority kids their history. Because not only do we have a situation where white kids get lost in what they know, we can say that Black kids get lost in what they don't know. They don't think that we can be bigger than what we are because they're not taught that. They're not taught to have pride in a history because they look at themselves as the way they get taught it in school, as slaves. Mm-hmm. That we had a little bit of a glimmer of hope. That's why we got Martin Luther King Day and Black History Month. But then after that, you really ain't got nothing.
Right.
You know? Right. So we're not taught that we were kings, that we were, that we were and aren't engineers, doctors, lawyers, accountants, physicians, scientists, that we do create. I challenge everybody to go on a list of who invented what Black inventors throughout history.
Oh, wow.
You know what? Something just came. Something just came in my email. Let me.
Oh, lost for words. I'm waiting. I'm listening.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait.
You know what? I don't want. No, I don't want to be petty. I really don't want to be petty. I really don't. But
wait, what is it? A long email?
Oh, it was an email, but I don't want to really be petty. But my brother Smith,
send it to me.
You guys know where I stand on petty.
No, yeah, me and my brother
Smitty, and see, we are all me and my brother Smitty. We known each other before we went through our incidents.
Absolutely.
And after our incidents, we became more voiceful. To hear him talk about the president of the NAACP of San Francisco reaching out to him. Not only do we applaud that man for doing that, because it was never about his position. It was about what he could do to help this brother. That's a leadership role this man took. This man went out of his way to capture and find. San Francisco is 50 minutes away from us.
At least.
So, at least. So for him to come out of his jurisdiction to another jurisdiction where we have not one branch, but two separate branches. And neither one of them stood up to the plate and did what needed to be done. I'm not going in on the branches. It's on the individuals. I think it's time for people to start really looking at who they want to consider to be in that position of power. If you call this man a president and you look upon him as your leader, more power to you.
I think we need to move the needle and maybe, because I think all three of us had this conversation, and I know you guys have shared it with other folks, is that we always have this little laugh and joke between us, like it's going to be hard for us to get cats on board to roll with us because we got our own kind of little vibe jumping off. It ain't too many cats really like that committed to one thing, where really in real talk, we don't have one thing. It's about the cause.
It's the
Under
community.
that cause is so
It's the cause.
many
It's everything.
umbrellas.
Yes,
You
it doesn't
can't-
matter.
you can't sit here and say, oh, we just do this one thing, you know.
No.
But I would say, going back to my statement, is that I think it's incumbent upon us now, or where we are, to maybe encourage folks to do their own thing. Again, you don't necessarily have to roll with us or believe what we believe. You could do your own thing. You can go join the NAACP. You can go join the ACLU. You can go join 100 Men. You can go join whatever organization you like. Hell, you can start your own, but just be about it. Don't just do it because it's cool. Don't just do it because you're spiteful that one organization is not doing something that you like or whatnot. Do it because there's purpose behind it. And then
we need people in the community who are willing to get out there and lead.
And understand this. If you think, and again, I know I made the statement of what we've done in a year, but it's still minute what we've accomplished. It's just very small. Yeah. But if you understand that once you go into something and you start a movement or organization, a process, something that's going to take, you got to understand, you got to be in it for the long haul. You may never even see it come to fruition. You may be gone 500 years before your ideas take shape, and you have to be comfortable with that. So I don't want to light someone's fire, and then they just fall apart.
Well, and real quick, and understand, this is not something that we're doing because we have time because of COVID, because I can tell you our lives didn't stop because of COVID. If anything, they picked up.
Wow.
Can I share a quote with y'all? Let me share this quote.
Please, go ahead.
Because this is, and I really want your feedback, because this is bugging me. Celebrating Black American life and contributions in Vacaville, California, past, present, and future.
This is gonna make me cuss, huh?
That's the theme. That's the theme of the organization for next month. And
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time. Please say it again.
Celebrating Black American life and contributions in Vacaville, California, past, present, and future.
That's it?
That's it. It's called Amplify Our Voices.
Who's first? Anybody? Can I
go?
Can I go, Smith?
Please.
Is it me?
Please go.
Is it me? It's my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Look here.
I'm
gonna go ahead and say this. Bless your little heart. Now, what else is my big thing? Like I had said earlier, what else? What are you gonna do in March? Because you're just saying that right now. What are you standing up for right now? Because you were given, the universe gave you an issue, gave you one, and nobody said anything. You sent out from one group, we had a little letter. Thank you for that. Good job, because it was mostly white folks, and I know that took a lot. Now, and I'm sorry, I don't mean that in jest. I mean, because I'm serious about that, especially in Vacaville. For white people to stand up against racism in Vacaville is a lot.
Absolutely.
Now, for everybody else, where you at? We're going into the second week of this incident. We're the only ones who are still talking about it in public. We're the only ones who are standing up for right now and our past, telling you what you can do in the future. Where you at, partner? And aside from sitting in the corner planning to put your name out there just a little bit more, we need leadership on all levels. Leadership means you stand out in front and foremost. That's the difference between being a leader and being a boss. A boss will tell you, hey, you all go out there and do that. A leader will say, y'all get on my back and follow me.
Can you give me the definition of puppet?
Can you?
That's your word. That's not my word. That's your word.
Can you please tell me the title again? I'm still stuck on the title. Say it again. You say it so eloquently.
You know what? Hold on. Before you, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, Smith. And in defense, at least you're no. You know, I was gonna say at least you trying. I think
you can't.
I can't. No. No. Well,
I want to hear Smith's comment on this. Amplify our voices, celebrating Black American life and contributions in Vacaville, California, past, present, and future.
Well,
amplifying our voice, past, present.
I got to say, the title itself speaks to me and says that Black folks have done something in Vacaville. That's what I get out of that.
Ooh.
So you have, and again, you guys know me in these words. I do words and see how they're built and how they're structured and where they're placed. It says in Vacaville. That's going to be a short ceremony. That's going to be.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm gonna tell you why I can personally agree with you there. And listen, one of the things that a lot of people don't know about me, but my family is 4 generations Vacaville.
Woo!
4 generations. So that means myself, my mother, her mother, and her mother's mother have lived in Vacaville. And still,
you got some time.
It's time. My grandfather was the first Black garbage man in Vacaville, in the city of Vacaville. My family was one of the first Black families, and when I say one of the first, I mean top 5,
right,
to own property, own their own property in Vacaville. So
and we also know
when we go back in history of Vacaville, I can talk about it firsthand.
Well, let's do this because we don't honestly, you know, I needed to hear your comment on that, Smitty's comment, and I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to leave it.
Are we going to go to the ceremony?
If we get invited, I don't know. We may be done. I will say that.
I want to go. I mean, I'm a support.
Well, here's my problem.
Our conduct may not be becoming of the ceremony.
Is that what it is?
No, it may not.
I live in Vallejo, so.
Here's my problem, though. Well, I'm not even gonna say he's doing anything. And honestly, next month, here's the problem. Vacaville, we already know what this city is. And if you go, and I don't know how many people take time out. Me, I'm a history buff. Go right over to our museum here. You'll see the deed on the wall, pre-Civil War. And it shows the Black slaves that they had here. Why should we be wanting to do anything?
Why is that even on the wall?
Yeah, these people are proud of what they've done to us.
You're proud of their heritage.
Yeah, people don't know. Yeah. But here's my problem. People say this and they say that. They never go and do research. They have the deed in the museum hanging up. The Gordon Ranch. They owned slaves here in Vacaville.
That's your past, Vacaville.
Yeah, that Vacaville, this is your past.
To be fair, because we live in Vacaville, but for anybody that may be listening outside of Vacaville, your town got history too.
Yeah, it's not just Vacaville. And what I want to make sure that we understand, we're not saying what that celebration is bad, because it's needed.
No,
it is definitely needed. And for everyone who's involved in that, thank you for actually taking the time to put that together. Now, also, what else are you going to do?
I want to say this.
Hold on.
No, go ahead. No, man. No, because you're making good points. But the fact remains, you put this email out to celebrate the Black accomplishment in Vacaville. Okay? But again, to Shannon's point, who the hell knows you exist? Who's
right?
Because
you can't,
you're gonna have a mediocre.
You can't get out there and say
have a mediocre turnout at best.
You can't, right? Because you can't get out there and say, you know, hey, the NAACP been out here since blah blah blah, bruh. 2020.
You know what? Plain and simple.
2021.
Plain and
2019.
Simple,
nobody knew you exist.
Yeah, plain and simple. Let's end on a high note. And this
goes. Oh no, we're
going
to end on a high note.
Right, and I'm just saying to all organizations.
You're the one who brought up the email, so
right. I know I brought it up, but to all organizations, yes, we are undivided. Me and my brothers, we gonna always ride. We are willing to work with anybody toward the cause at any time. And to those who look at us and say, well, no, they're too radical, I'm okay with that. We're willing to sit down and have
Are we radical though?
We're not.
No.
But certain people feel our ways are because we don't believe in waiting on people to fill out paperwork to get a complaint taken care of.
Or is it just because we're actually speaking things that actually need to be done?
Exactly.
Right.
If your sense is wait and see, if that's your approach, wait and see, then yes, we're radical. Yes. Okay.
And you know what? I will say this. For all these organizations, we're not against anybody. We're willing to work with anybody.
Oh,
and you would rather have us on your side than actually against you. You have three brothers here who have came together and created something very beautiful. And it's a movement and it's constantly growing. So,
and then I want to say this, Shannon, because I think that's important. That's a great statement to say on a high note, because we're about the cause. So how could we be about the cause if we weren't willing to work with anyone and everyone? Now we're going against the cause because we're spiteful, because we don't want to deal with this person, you know? And my way of thinking has always been like this. And I told a fellow coworker this to his face many years ago, only because it's facts. We don't have to like each other, bruh. I don't like you. I don't like you. But if it means getting the job done, call me. I told him
about the cause,
and people that know me, because we got to get this job done, and I need your assistance, or you may need mine. But I'm gonna be petty and be like, oh no, I don't like him. No. So again, if there's something you want to address, you want to pursue, you ain't never called me, but you rather speak to one of my brothers, I'm with that. My feelings ain't gonna be hurt
at all.
Because we're all trying to get somewhere.
Because we all, like you said earlier, Smitty, we all have different lanes, but we're going in the same direction. And that's important to understand. And really what that means that we're not waiting for an invitation to speak up against wrong. We're not waiting for the appropriate time of the year to go out and celebrate us. We want to make sure that people understand that there are wrongs in this country and in this world. No, we're not going to get them all eradicated. No. We're not going to fix them all, but we're going to try. We're going to try our best to get things so we can live in a world, or at least our children and our grandchildren can live in a world where we don't have to worry about if they 20 minutes late getting home.
Yeah.
Or if they, oh, Dad, I got a speeding ticket. Okay, are you okay? What happened? We don't want to go through that. As fathers and as grandfathers, we don't want to go through that. We want our children to be able to say, you know what, Dad, I'm getting ready to go buy this house, and not have to worry about, okay, damn it, let me get you the right guy, because I don't want you putting on there this and this and that. Make sure you fill out this paperwork correct. We don't want to have to go through that. We want a world where we're considered, and I'll quote it, by who we are. That means our character. That means who we are as people, not the color of our skin. We don't want that. We want everybody just to be happy and get along and understand that, hey, we have stuff that can be improved on, and we can get it done with help. Because we
And
do
the thing
understand.
about happy, and the thing about happy is, it's just you got, again, to the cause. We know the cause exists. We know there's a struggle. But if we allow that to suck our happiness away, then we can't do our job. We can't benefit. We can't go forward. Yeah. So just as a side note, to understand whatever it is you align yourself with, or this organic thing you want to build, I will tell you the first time we ever did anything together was at the Walmart here in Vacaville. And we went in there very serious, very professional, adamant. We know what we wanted. And then when we walked out, we sat outside and laughed at a couple things for at least 30 minutes. So you have to keep that mentality right. Yeah. You know, you have to keep the mentality right so you can focus and get things done. Because if you think you're going to win every battle, you're going to burn yourself out. You know? Yeah. Yeah. And then I want to say this, and I'm going to shut up until y'all tell me to speak, is I know we're running out of time, but I like to throw this teaser out there, if I may, Troy, for next week.
Go ahead.
We accomplished a lot last week in our little 45 minutes of talking heads.
57 minutes.
But we have a serious thing coming up next Tuesday in the city of Fairfield. I don't know if you all are aware, but it's going to be a teaser. But one of the council members has been discovered of donating money to some of the organizations that attempted the coup last week at the Capitol.
We all know who she is.
That Fairfield City Council meeting is going to be fire.
Hot.
I suggest you log in, especially if you're in the city of Fairfield. You know.
Oh, speaking of which,
and it's also in Napa. It's come to find out a couple council members in Napa were involved in donating money. So again, like we said, get involved. Get involved. Engaged.
And with that in mind, Vallejo, Fairfield, Suisun, Dixon, Rio Vista, Benicia, or how you like to call it, Benicia, or whatever y'all like to be called out there. Benicia. If you have something you want to be talked about, if there's an incident in your city, let us know. Please let us know. We're not out there hunting for things to talk about. We ain't ambulance chasing and all that. So let us know if you got issues with your school district, with your police departments, whatever's going on, let us know. And we'll be more than happy to talk about it. If it's something real, we're gonna be. What you smiling at? Oh, you hearing? You hearing?
You know, I think it's great.
No, wait. You hear what he playing?
Oh yeah, okay.
He finally playing something that didn't happen in Chicago.
You know.
We out. We gotta sign. We gotta go.
Yeah, we out. Jesus Shuttleworth, y'all. Jesus Shuttleworth.
Stay everywhere. Hey, y'all, stay undivided. I want to thank again my brother Shannon, my big brother Smitty. We want to thank you. Thank y'all once again. Sister Beatrice, you had to chime out, but thank you as always. People, once again, if we leave with nothing else, you have to stand up if you want change. That's all it is. Good night, y'all.
All right, y'all. Be well.
Be well.